Well, it wants to ask you. It just wants to make sure that you're like, "Are you sure?"
You know what? This isn't against anyone that does audio only, but I'm not an audio only fan. I'm a visual person, hence being in comics.
Right.
So really, it's like I'd rather I'd rather have video. I've done a couple of one, two, three, four. I've done a couple of audio only, but I don't know if anyone. I assume someone listens. You know what it is though. Also, I'm dyslexic, so I don't do good verbally. So that could be why too. We'll just blame that. There's my fucking stickers. I've been looking all over for this fucking thing.
I take it it's been really rough.
I've been down here. The only good thing I will say is that I didn't have a lot of big boxes that I had to do. I had like 2. Usually I have like 5. So I was thrilled with that. Um my my metal cards sold really. Hi Calvin. Oh, I gotta put that on the screen. I know what I'm doing. Not really, um but yeah, I didn't have any big things, so I like that because I hate packing big things. I like the plushies. I know everyone badmouths my plushies, but they're so easy to freaking ship. I had 2 people buy Chatty, so I was like, woohoo. But anyway, my metal cards sold really well this time. Um, like a lot. Like a lot of people bought like all 4 sets or whatever. I need
Yeah.
to organize them more. I love metal cards. I have my own little. I gotta add the new ones. I have my own little book here on my metal card. I collect my own metal cards. So
I mean, you should be proud of them, so I don't blame you.
oh, I already put the new ones in here. Well, that's anticlimactic. Yeah. I mean, why not, right?
Tom, how was Motor City?
It was good. Overall, we were considering we were in a really weird spot. Um, and it was our first time, and so we kind of had to work around those sort of things, but overall it was really good. um, I think if we had just been like where we were, but on the opposite side of the curtain, which would have been facing Artist Alley, because Artist Alley was like one row over. I think if we had been facing Artist Alley, I think we would have done really great, because we wouldn't like quite as hidden as where we were, sort of in this weird kind of corner. But again, we fought off the weird corner, and it was the first time there, so there was a ton of new people that were like talking, but it was good. And then the interesting thing was there was a whole bunch of people that were like they would come by and they'd be like, whoa, I know what this is, like. And I'm like, well, yeah, we've been doing this a while. Then they'd be like, well, yeah, but you haven't done this for like a long time. I'm like, no, we have not stopped doing this for 14 years. And they were like, well, but I got this stuff like 10 years ago, and then you guys were gone. And I'm like, yeah, that's when we went to Aspen, and Aspen was publishing us. And they were like, what? When did that? Well, I don't remember that happening. And then I was like, yeah. And then we were with them for 3 years. And then we've been doing Kickstarters for the last 8 years. And they were like, oh my God, I remember when I got this and this and this. And I'm like, oh my God. So it was really great, because we had all these people that were just coming in like, Critter, I know what that is. Scheherazade, oh my God. And so we made this reconnection with a lot of people that literally thought we had just vanished. So we got all these new people plus this sort of reconnect that was really interesting, even though we've never done Motor City before. So clearly we had met them at other cons, or however they found us. And and so they were excited that we were back, and it was good. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't like gangbusters sales, but again, I don't know if I have to kind of be like, well, again, first time there, most of the people there don't know who we are, so they're taking a chance on us. 2, we're in that weird corner. 3, who knows? I mean, it just could be what the con is. Until I do it again, I won't know if we can like build on it. But it was good enough that I'm like 100% we'll take a booth again and go back and see if we can build on it. Because then again, next year's our 15-year anniversary, so we want to come back in and kind of go bigger if we can, if they'll let us. Give me another space, like move us. Like, if the other thing is like, so we have these tees. It's like 2 booths back to back, and then there's like a drape, and then there's the end caps. So if we had this end cap, which happened to be the Kubert School, if we were on that end cap right there, I think we would have been gangbusters too. That's a lot to ask of them to put us in one of those spaces. So even if they flip us to the other side, let us face Artist Alley, I'd be happy. But I'm going to try and negotiate into an end cap somewhere so that we can go big. Like, look, we want to go big. I want to bring artists. Like, I want to make a big deal out of this so that we're not just like some people at your con. I want us to be a fixture of your con, and we'll make it worth your while. We'll do panels if you want. We'll do portfolio reviews if you want. Like, tell us what you want us to do to level you up, if you can level us up, and we'll see if we can, kind of have the give and take and make a big deal out of it. Hope so.
Hell yeah, man. And then you're doing Cherry Capital next week, right?
Cherry Capital this weekend, this coming weekend.
This weekend.
Yeah, this weekend. Yeah. And then the weekend after that, I go to New York for Ostravaganza. So I've got 3 back to back, and then a week off, and then I go to Albuquerque. So it's 4 and 5 weeks. Yeah, it's hectic right now. But it's all good. And so I have never done Cherry Capital either. But they were very cool with us when I reached out to them. They were like, "Yeah, come in. We want you here." So I'm like, awesome. So two brand new cons, and we'll see how they play. But we had a good time.
Oh yeah, I did Cherry Capital when it first started, and it was pretty good. That's the one in the stadium, isn't it? I think.
Cherry. Well, when I went last year, it's in a hotel. It's in like a what do you call those things? It's like a hotel / like a health spa / resort is what I'm trying to say. It's like a resort up there. So it's where, I don't know where it was for you, but where it was last year was in like this big sort of hotel resort thing, and it was in one of their ballrooms. So that's where it is again this year, at least so far as that's where I'm going. That's where I'm driving to. So I hope it's there.
That's where they told you to show up at.
Yeah, it's like go here, ha ha, sucker, Tom.
Over there.
Yeah.
No, we were doing yeah, it was at I think it was Cherry Capital. Yeah, I think it was at the stadium. So I guess they moved it, which is cool. Whatever.
Tom, did you pick up any new artists at the con?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we talked to some. There's a couple of them that we talked to. We'll see, how they play if we can get them hooked up. But I messaged one. Well, one of them was actually this guy who was right across from us, and he was doing art prints and stuff. And he had some amazing shit. I mean, CB and I were both just like in the booth, just like staring at it. And we both knew, we were both in the exact same headspace. Like, who's this guy? How do we get this guy to do art for us? Like, how do we do it? And so we went over and we talked to him, and it turned out it wasn't him. It was his brother, because there was 2 shows. So there was Motor City, and then there was Florida. So the actual artist, I'm not saying any names because I want him first, was down in Florida doing the show, and then his brother came up here to do the show. And so I was like, so who's this? Oh, it's my brother. And like, I was like, okay, how do I hook up? He's like, Instagram. Follow him on Instagram, send him a message. So I literally sent him a message while I was talking to his brother. I'm like, okay, Dylan said blah, 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 blah. And then like 30 seconds later, I got a message from the guy, like, tell me when you're ready. Let's go. I'm like, Jesus Christ. All right. So that was good. And then a couple other guys just came in from Artist Alley, and they came to us, and they were like, oh yeah, we know who you guys are. Like, this is who we are. Like, here's cards and whatever. And I was like, oh dude. And what was funny is I knew who both of them were already. I've already been following both of them. And I was like, yeah, you did something for Ryan Kincaid. He was like, yeah, I did. I was like, I know who you are. Trust me, I know who you are. So there was a few new people that we're gonna try and get into the cycle and see how they go. So yeah,
sweet. And I saw Stephanie was there too.
She didn't get to come on Sunday. She wanted to, but she didn't get to come. So we'll see her this weekend. She'll be up at Cherry Capital. So I'll be up there. Stephanie will be there. MR Gunn will be there again as well. So we'll have a nice BDI contingent up at Cherry Capital. So yeah, should be a good time. Yeah, it should be a good time.
Hell yeah!
If nothing else, it'll be a good time.
I actually forgot that Motor City was this weekend.
I always
So,
forget. That's why it
yeah.
was a miracle I even got in.
every time. They don't. I feel like they advertise really well. They also like don't. So I'm always like, when is
Yeah.
it?
No,
Also,
it's
there's two
right.
now.
There are two. Yeah,
So
there's one, and then there's a fall one. Yeah.
yeah,
Fall one's like half the size though. Like they don't go
is it?
all out in the fall. Yeah. Yeah. Which
Yeah.
is fine. It's okay.
What
But
season is?
one of the cool things about this con though is it's, I mean, it's not all comics, but there's still a lot of comics at Motor City. And I went shopping, man. Like I was there early every day because I got in with my exhibitor badge. So before everyone else could steal shit, I'm like, yes, I'm gonna shop. I came in with like 2 long boxes and a short box of just fucking comics. I'm like, God, I love this place. It's so great. So like, if you guys are in the area to get to Detroit, you know, for at least for next year, I don't know what it looks like in the fall, but at least for next year, there's a lot of comics at this show, guys. There's a lot of comics at this show. Not to mention artists and, you know, so on. And Artist Alley was pretty big too this year. So I think it's a show that kind of grew and hit some growing pains and kind of settled back down a little bit. But I think it really has the potential to kind of swing back and become something really cool. Especially if they can kind of get some of their guests. Like they had Tom King was there. That's a good guest for them.
Yeah.
You know, so they get some guests in that con. It's just it's not like regular, right? Like whoever you see this year, as far as their big guests, they probably won't be there next year. Like it's kind of a cycle of people. So, which is good because you get new people. But like if you expect somebody there year after year after year, that's probably not going to happen. But they do get big guests. They had some guys from Dynamite that did like the Elvira books, like Dave Acosta and stuff. So, you know, it's a cool show. I think it's a cool show. I think it needs more comics. I think it needs more creators / publishers. Like, you know, they need to be reaching out to like Dan Mendoza and those guys who are here.
They were there the other year.
He was there a few years ago, but he hasn't been back since that time. Yeah. But, you know,
because I was there that year.
Yeah. Yeah. But, you know, I get the sense that they don't necessarily like reach out to those kinds of folks. Like they wait till people come to them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if you were a little more proactive and kind of could see like, hey, we can build something through this comic section of people. I think it could swing. I think it could really swing as far as a comic place. So, you know, I'm going to talk to them and we'll see. I'm going to make suggestions to them. And, you know, I don't know who the hell I am to them, but, you know, if they understand that I've been doing this for 15 years and I've done all the cons, man, from coast to coast, you know, maybe they'll kind of take some hints and be like, oh yeah, this kind of makes sense. Like, let's reach out to Dan, and, you know, Bill McKay is down here, and, you know, let's get these guys in because they're locals. Like, let's pump up the locals. It's not just even that they're like names, right? But they're like locals. So let's get the locals in and show what the locals are doing. And they just happen to be cool people too. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, 90% we'll be back to do our 15 year there because it's our local con. Technically it's only 2 hours from
have you asked them about being a guest? Like, said what are the requirements to be a guest? And
no, you know, that'll be sort of the next step for me. But again, I'm not worried about paying for it because it's so close. It's super easy, right? It's not like I got to travel 5 days and then come back. You know, it's a very easy con. So I'm not worried about that so much for this con, but you know, I do want to try and get them to understand, like, you know, when we're allowed to go big, when a con gives us space to really do it, we can really do it. And, you know, hopefully that would, you know, elevate their con too, because there are no publishers there right now. Like Source Point's not there, Dan Mendoza's not there. You know, there used to be like Zenoscope used to be here. Nope, no Source Point.
Wow.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, let's I'm gonna hope that I can kind of rebuild that kindling, right? Like, let's make sure these guys are here. Like, I want, like, as a publisher, it's like I understand competition, right? Like, blah, whatever, they're here. But the reality is that if you build that, the customers will come for that, and there's all sort of a Venn diagram of customers that overlap for all of us, right? So if we can come in and be like, look, let's really build this out and get some of these local guys in here and get some of these cool, publishers to come in, it could really change the dynamic of the whole con. So
Absolutely. Yeah, they I'm actually kind of shocked that Zenscope, it doesn't surprise me that they're not there because they haven't been there for a couple.
they haven't been there for a while.
Right.
Yeah.
And then
But they're not that far. They're over in
Source Point-
Pennsylvania, so it's not that far for them.
Source Point, I'm surprised because they're literally in Grand Rapids or whatever.
Border, yeah, they're like right here. So
Yeah,
I mean,
so-
who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows the reasons? I'm not saying like there's any reason for it, but
Sure.
they just weren't there, and I don't know why. But
Right.
I feel like if the con was proactive in it, like we want you to be here, then they would probably be here.
Yeah. I've gotten in before. I just wasn't able to go, but I'm going to try again next year. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to try next year. So, because again, like you said, it's easy con. Like I can just drive there and be fine. So, an hour, 45-minute drive is not going to kill me.
Yep.
So,
Okay, don't jinx that.
sorry, I hope it kills me. There. So now it won't kill me.
There you go.
But really cool Comic-Con. I didn't get into this year. It's kind of a bummer, but they filled up really quickly.
Oh, really cool. Yeah, that was one that we talked about that earlier in the beginning of the show. It's actually on a weekend that I'm not going to be here. I'm going to be somewhere else. So,
Gotcha.
So otherwise I was going to try and get in there too, but
yeah. Well, I'm
elsewhere.
Oh, well, they filled up like really quickly. But like I went
Sure,
to put in
yeah.
my application, and they were like, "Hey, we're already filled," and I'm like, "Okay, well, all right, fine, whatever, whatever, fine." So
that's why I've got this spreadsheet now of cons, so that I can look way ahead.
Oh my God, send that to me if I could cheat off.
No,
of you.
absolutely not.
I hate you.
I'll sell it to you.
Oh well, I'll get out my checkbook and cry
Give
about it.
me $1 and I'll be happy.
Okay, fine. I'll give you $1.
It's fine.
Let me see your Excel spreadsheet. I want to make those, but there's so many cons, and some of them are like so tiny that I can't. There's like no way to really get in contact with them.
Right.
They're just advertised. I know there's one around here, like Knights of the Columbus.
Oh yeah, there's tons of those little types of things. Yeah. It's hard to even find, because even if you go looking online, like, because what I did is I went looking online. You can find lists of cons online, but they're all incomplete. Like you could look at 5 different lists and they will all have different things on it. It's like, Jesus, I got to like Tetris this thing together to have any sort of, real sense of where and when and how. So
and some of them are defunct too.
That's
so
true.
You're like,
100%.
You just and then they don't even say it's defunct at all, and you're just kind of like, oh, well, that's nice, thanks. Cons are a pain in the butt.
You're not coming on, Ray? What the hell, traitor?
No, he's crying in the corner. He doesn't want to.
Rude.
He doesn't want to come on. So
Mike and Trish are all up in the comments tonight. What's going on, Mike and Trish?
I know who they are, but hello.
You mean or you, because you're like, I know who they are, hello, but you made it sound like you.
Mike and Trish are big, indie supporters. They've been big Dog Inc. supporters since they discovered us a couple of years ago. So they're the good people.
They're cool.
Good people. Yeah.
Yay, cool people. I like cool people. Actually, you know what?
Yeah.
You know what's great? My Kickstarter is done. I can launch. I'm just not.
I'm mad because my pre-launch isn't. Usually I have my pre-launch all set, and I forgot this time because by the time they looked at usually I'm automatically approved, and this time I wasn't. They didn't look at it yet until after my Kickstarter started, and they're like, "Oh, you can't have 2 at the same time." I was like, "Well, it would have been if you had approved it right away." So now I'm waiting for it. So I'm all annoyed because usually I send it with the update, and
you can't get it like approved.
I'm waiting. I guess they're behind. Usually I'm automatic. I was literally automatic like the first several, and then I wasn't, and then I was again for like several in a row. So I don't know. It's just random. Hello. I have a review for Chad coming up. There you go.
Yeah, I have
a review for Chad. He's awesome. Oh,
yeah, just a review of me. That's all they're doing.
Well,
no,
I ended yesterday, and I almost done shipping out. So
I did. I have set the hook. The PDF review copy is
off the hook.
Ready to go. Tom, I gotta send it to you so
What's
that way
that?
I could be like, here. Oh, set the hook, my fish book.
Oh, well, you
Oh yeah,
reminded
yeah,
me
yeah.
of
Because
that.
you like fish and I like fish.
Yeah, you send it to me, and I keep meaning to look at it, but
Carissa, you can't read. Just admit it. That's why
I
you haven't
can't
read it
read.
yet.
I'm
You just can't
dyslexic.
read.
I'm lucky. I got as far as I got. I mean, 100 issues is as bad as far as I've gotten on mine. Actually, I told my artist, I said, are you okay with, doing mine as fast as you can? And he's like, yeah. He goes, I have you and 2 others, and I can't really take it anymore. And then I was like, all right, as long as you stop doing mine, that's fine by me. I was like, you have to at least get to, 22 before you slow down. So,
You're still a machine. You scare me sometimes.
my next campaign is 12. What the hell year is it? June 17th.
Oh, so yeah, so right
Sharks.
after I launch. So
I don't even know what that
yay.
means. Oh,
well, you said June 17th. Yeah. That's
yeah,
before.
June 17th. And I think Lori is June 14th. So I told her
I'm
mine was June 14th, and she said, "Oh yeah, and you're June 6th, right?"
I'm June 6th, yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
God, we're
so-
all. Man, we're gonna do some promoting. Hell yeah, great.
My
Or we're
I
gonna
don't.
step on each other's toes. One of the two.
Yeah, no one's gonna have enough money. Someone's like, "Oh, I can't." They try not to they try not to go live when Lady Death Universe is live. I was like, that's
Pointless,
every month.
pointless.
Yeah,
That is the incorrect attitude and thought process
Yep.
yes,
for multiple reasons. Would we like to talk about the reasons?
Go ahead.
Yes, go ahead. I would like to know the reasons.
Sure. So the first reason is that the people that are buying Lady Death were not going to buy your book anyway.
That is a very fair
that's the
point.
reality.
Very accurate.
Most of the Lady Death people, they focus their money on Lady Death because they spend a lot of money on those campaigns. I mean, obviously,
Right.
we've all seen it. Now, that's not to say they don't go elsewhere and there's overlap. Of course there is. There are definitely Lady Death people that buy my books and so on and so on. But
Sure.
the bulk of it, the heavy duty bulk of it, it's not going to affect you at all. That's number one. Number two is when Lady Death comes on and those people, those 2,000 backers are on Kickstarter, that opens the door for those 2,000 backers to potentially see you. And those are 2,000 backers that you would not normally have had, like we just talked about, right? So it's sort of similar like when Boom comes on and they're like, hey, we're going to do a Power Rangers thing, right? They drag people to the campaign, or not into the campaign, into the platform. So there's way more users during that time that may not know who you are. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to find you. Some people just click a link and pledge and leave. But there are people that come into Kickstarter and like, okay, what else is on Kickstarter? And they start to search around and they might find you. So that's just the basics.
I won't say the name, but Chad, you know who I'm talking about, right?
Yes, I know exactly who you're thinking.
Like there was a time,
the same thing.
Yeah, there was a time in January, right? And this is how I know that this is truth, right? I launched, Dan Mendoza launched, Ron Zabala with Manalbus Press launched, Marat Michaels launched, somebody else, some other had a big name. It was like 5 of us that all launched within a week of each other. Oh, it was Polito. Within a week of each other, we all launched together within a week of each other. And none of us saw any sort of like, oh shit, I saw a drop because all of these guys were out here. And it's because I have a sort of a foundational audience, right? That they know they're going to come and get my stuff. They have foundational audiences, and it's a Venn diagram. So a little bit of crossover here and there, here and there, here and there. But really, it's all about building your own audience. And anytime that you can get on the platform when there are more users, potentially anyway, that's good for you. Because you have the potential to just be stumbled upon as like, oh, I just bought Lady Death, but this fish book looks cool. Like,
right,
I'll buy this fish book.
Right. Fish book, Lady Death. I mean, they're practically the same thing.
Yeah. Practically the same. And then here's the other thing, right? Is like people will be like, well, yes, but I wouldn't have a bad girl book on. No, false again, because Lady Death buyers like bad girl books.
Right.
So you have even more opportunity actually to sell your product if you have something that is sort of in a similar vein as Lady Death, or Power Rangers or Godzilla or whatever happens to be on there as the big thing, because
Right.
those guys are there looking for that stuff. So you have that opportunity. Again, it's not a 1-for-1 deal. You're not going to just suddenly pick up 2,000 backers, but
Right.
you can't be afraid of that stuff.
That would be swell.
And along with that too, people have more than like $15. I mean, not everybody, but people have more money. Like they can buy more than one thing on Kickstarter. It is
Sure.
a thing. Like,
Yeah, and it's not a thing to say that like there's not competition for your dollar. There is. People make decisions. I'm going to buy
Sure.
one thing from him instead of two from him. Whatever. They make decisions with their money 100%. But from the awareness aspect of things,
Right.
you need to be there when the platform is being used. Particularly if you don't have a built-in fan base. Like if you have your fan base following you, then it really doesn't matter, because you just tell them, I'm doing this in January, February, March. They come when you tell them to that you're launching. But if you're new and you're kind of like still building your audience, then you want to be there when there's as many users as possible.
Right.
I'm a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B.
Yeah.
I just press the button and hope for the best.
I might as well just like have one. I wish I could just have one large campaign and just like hit go every month, so I could be like, there you go.
One person buys they buy one witch book and one boob book. Like it's what they do each time. So they have a very specific train of thought. Man, I feel like the boob book you could definitely find those all over Kickstarter, but how many witch books can you find?
Oh, you'd be surprised. There's a lot of witch books.
Yeah.
I have witch in mind, but not enough that I would say it was a witch book.
In fact, there's one right now that's running called Ninja Witch. Literally
You're
running
lying.
right now. I am not lying.
I mean, I know you're not, but I'm gonna say you are.
It may have ended, but I'm pretty sure that it's still running. But he just did it recently. It's called Ninja Witch by Justin Hunt.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, I know who Justin Hunt is. He's awesome.
Oh, okay.
He was supposed to do a topless vampire pick for cover for me, but it didn't go through. He had too much going on.
Yeah, he gets busy. He goes through cycles.
Yeah, I can never have my character. Yes, I can never have my character topless, but I can have the other female characters topless. So, yeah. I did my homework, by the way. I watched the Quick and the Dead, and I watched the Mad Monster Party.
Good.
That chick singing was very annoying. What the hell's her name? I know her, but
Phyllis Diller.
Yeah, Phyllis. Yeah,
Phyllis Diller.
I kind of fast forward a little halfway through that song. That was
You're different.
Yeah, I was like, okay. I was like, you're really throwing yourself at a guy that doesn't want you, and he's a monster. So, yeah, it was. You're right. The animation and everything. I don't know how I had never seen this before. It is just like Rudolph, and they blew up a crow in the beginning. I don't know what was going on there, but
yes,
Mad Monster Party.
Yeah,
Monster here's Party. The thing. Like, if you didn't, it's one of those things that used to be on every year, like a Halloween thing.
No, but I saw the Rudolph every year. Why didn't I see that one?
Sure. But what I'm saying is like it Mad Monster Party drifted off. There was a period where it just was like, well, we're not going to show it anymore. Rudolph is a standard, but Mad Monster Party, it's like, it's kind of weird.
There are conventions for Mad Monster Party. I found them on YouTube because I was looking.
Well, yeah, Mad Monster Party is. Yeah, but it's not for the movie. It's just Mad Monster Party. No,
it's
just
an
Mad
orgy.
Monster Party. Like it's like a horror monster con.
Because the guy had the shirt with Mad Monster Party on it. So
yeah, I have no doubt about that. Yeah, I have no.
But it might not be based around it. It might just be like based on the idea.
Not.
It's based on the idea. Correct. Yes. Yeah.
Whatever.
Which is smart. It's great. I love it.
It's not like the failed Gargoyles convention where it was just based around the animated series of Gargoyles.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
or
love
the
the
It's
Twilight
hard to
animated
do that
Convention.
kind of stuff, even like there's the only ones that I really know that exist regularly every year are
Rocky
G
Horror.
Fest for Godzilla. Transformers has BotCon every year, and
Oh.
then GI Joe has a GI Joe Con every year. But as far as a fandom thing, like there isn't even, so far as I know, like a regular yearly Power Rangers thing. Like they happen occasionally, but it's not like a yearly regular let's get together. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's very hard to do a con that is based on a singular or semi-singular fandom. But there are like horror cons. There's a very specific genre con. Like horror cons are all over the place, and they tend to
Yeah.
be pretty fun.
Yeah, horror cons are good. You gotta do Motor City Nightmares, by the way.
I've done that. I did it a couple years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did it a couple years ago.
Did you have a table or?
Yeah. Mhm.
Oh, okay. I'm
Yep.
doing a table in July, so I got one. So I did it last year too, and it was a lot of fun. I
think
know
I'm only
Shrek.
doing 3.
Shrek had a convention for like 10 years, and it just ended. So it was just a convention that was based around Shrek. So, which
How would that end after 10 years? Did everyone die or something? What the fuck?
well, no, I just assume it either got too much or maybe everybody died. I don't know.
Again, it's just hard to maintain those things, especially
Yeah.
with Shrek. Right? There's only like 4 movies. Like that's it. It's
Right.
not like it
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
keeps
but this
going.
one coming,
you know what
maybe
I
they
mean?
will revive.
Yeah, I mean you are right. Then with only 4 movies, I mean video games, some shorts, and other than that, yeah, there's not much.
Yeah.
The fact that it lasted for 10 years though is very impressive.
Yeah, I
So,
agree. Yeah,
but I guess for a while it was a big meme, so people are gonna come for the meme, the meme-ness of it.
So I ended last night at 9 p.m. and right now I have, let's see, I had 135 backers, and I'll tell you how much I have left. Where am I? All right, so
there's also the Supernatural cons, which are kind of interesting.
I go every year to that. Okay, so 22 left. Oh my god.
No, not that Supernatural. I mean that Supernatural con, but the one up in Sault Ste. Marie.
So to answer your question, Jason, 24 to 48 hours. So, but I'm small time. I only had 135 backers. So
yeah, Carissa is a machine though. I'll blink and her stuff is already being shipped. So just like, and I have said this before, it's to the point where she doesn't even need my address. She just sends it.
I did like 7 today that didn't even respond to the survey. I was like, I have their address. I don't care.
Yeah, I'm not responding until it gets annoying. Then I will fill it out.
I was gonna say it flashes. I wish I could. Like, I wish it would just save addresses and I didn't have to send that stupid survey. But I had a few new ones this time because I had a sexy cover and he had a fan base. So
very nice.
I will say this is the most metal covers I ever sold, ever. And some people bought like 4 each. So I was like, all right, well, you do you. So.
Wow.
Yeah, I was not expecting that. So I actually had to order some more. And I ordered, now the glow in the darks are the only ones that really had to wait. Because I got to be honest with you, I didn't think anyone would buy those. It's so expensive as hell. Yeah, it's called Not to Have a Life, and there's an obsession in there somewhere.
You're gonna do a glow in the dark fishbone cover, Chad?
Let me tell you something.
You know what? I didn't think about it, but now that you put it in there, that in my brain, yeah, I might have to do that.
Well, I really didn't think it would sell. I'm not gonna lie. So I had put it for. It's very expensive. I had glow in the dark cards with it. It was like $150 for one. But I figured if I only sold one, it's not enough to cover all of them. So I was like, well, I kind of have to make it so it whatever. But anyway, I sold 3 of them, so I was really surprised.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
so you got to do like a dude holding the fish right on the thing, but then like normal, like color it normal, right? So you have that, but then paint the glow in the dark bones so that when you put it in the dark, all you see is like the bones.
There
And
is
like maybe
spot,
the
there is spot
line
glowing.
going up through the thing, you know.
Oh, that'd be cool. I
There
would
is
love
spot
that.
glowing, so you can do something like that. I don't know how it works, but I saw that you have the choice to spot glow.
Yeah, yeah, you can spot glow stuff for sure, 100%.
I didn't know you could spot glow.
Yeah, it's
I mean, I guess
basically
that does
just
make
you're kind of
I
like
didn't know
painting
you
it
could
into
glow.
where you want it to glow. You know, so if you want edges to glow or whatever, so you could literally just like hide the bones. I mean, people you look at it and you'll kind of see it, right?
Sure,
Because
yeah.
it's transparent, but it's there. But so it doesn't
Yeah.
really take away from the art. But then when you go dark, it's like bing, there's the glowing fish.
That'd be cool.
And Jason, yours will be in the mail tomorrow because somebody didn't fill out the survey, so it didn't go out today. But I didn't have your address, so now I have it, and I'll send it out tomorrow. If I'm not doing this Sunday anymore. I like doing it Friday because that gives me Saturday and Sunday to ship out with less pressure because there's no mail on Sunday. So like, I'm like, oh, I only have to work really hard on Saturday until 11 a.m. and then, can't do anymore. But yeah, no, I feel like there's a lot of
I did have some people in the con talking about glow in the dark stuff. Like they were talking about their glow in the dark books from other publishers, So
Really?
it's clearly a thing that people are starting to kind of latch onto to some degree.
I think it was only because of not only was it Ivan Tao, it was.
That's what I said. I was kind of like the same way. I'm like,
this cover just is cool.
Mike, I understand glow in the dark. I understand the gimmick of it. We've done this has been done in the past. It's like I get it, but like, who's taking their comics out and charging them in a light and then turning their light off to look at it? Like it's so weird to me, like the dynamic of it, right? It's sort of like the lenticular covers, right? I feel like,
yes,
okay, I get it, kind of, but are we doing this with our comics all the time? Like it's so weird to me. I can't wrap my brain around it. So
I didn't expect it. I think it's only because Ivan Tao has very loyal fan base, and it was different. I only did 10. I only allowed 10 of them, and they're numbered.
Ivan Tao get glow in the dark covers for him. Okay.
Yeah, and absolutely metal. They love metal. I'm doing Derek Chu. Is that how you say his name? So his I will probably try glow in the dark too. So
I will say that as somebody, I did buy the what was it, the year of the villain or Forever Evil lenticular covers that DC made. I actually did buy quite a few of those and get them graded because the artwork is, because some of those covers are pretty cool looking. But yeah, no, I'm not sitting there with them doing this the whole time. Like Chad, what are you doing? You have a Kickstarter run. Can't playing with my lenticular covers.
It's a weird gimmick, It's just a weird gimmick to me, Like even the
is
metals, like I was very like, I'm not doing metal stuff. But then once I saw the metals, I was like, okay.
I've never
metals
actually
I understand.
seen a metal cover.
Metals I understand now because they get, especially if they're done right. If the art kind of has dark to light and some depth in it, like the metal almost creates a 3-dimensional effect. It's like it's a very cool look on the metal. So that I understood 100%. Plus, in that regard, you could just like set it on your shelf, and it's like, oh, there's my cool metal thing. I can look at it. But all the other ones sort of require interaction to make it work,
right?
And that's where it gets strange to me.
Yeah, I don't know if he did it on purpose, but Ivan Tao's is all he did it so perfect for metal. It was just super shiny and
isn't it heavy?
A little bit, but it's not
a little bit.
Oh, okay.
You're not gonna build any muscles with it, Chad.
Well, I would hope. Well, damn it, I was hoping.
I was gonna say, did you want to go muscle?
Yeah. Well, how do you work out? What's your workout routine? I 5 redemption books and 4 Batmans every time. Lift. No, I'm not really doing anything fancy for my Kickstarter right now. What do I have? I have stickers. I have a bookmark.
I don't usually do my regular covers in metal, but my 13 actually looks pretty shiny. I might actually do that in metal. I have one. I have
my other books too, though.
Huh?
Oh, I have my other books are going to be up for sale too during the campaign.
Always have your back catalog available. Always. That's one of the big mistakes a lot of people make.
Because I have like 40 things.
Yeah, I actually heard about that. That like that is something that you should definitely do. So I was like, oh yeah, no, that's a good idea. So I actually reordered some Sparkle Dog, and I have a bunch of blue in my
Mhm.
garage.
I have
So.
I have a lot of overstock, so because I just buy and I retitled everything, so now I have even more of the, and I'm getting them relettered. So when I get them relettered, I'm just gonna print all over again. I'm
See,
excited because I totally
Well,
remastered.
you should be reaching a point where you're not reprinting those, though. You should be putting collected editions together.
yeah,
I should put what now?
Selling a trade paperback rather than all the singles, and that'll help you
Oh,
with
I
all of
have a
your
hardcover.
relist.
I have a
Yeah, that's what I'm
hardcover.
saying. But if you have the collected edition, you shouldn't be reprinting the single issues anymore.
They keep buying them. Oh.
Yeah, but that's because you keep posting them. What I'm saying is if, like, let's say you just have 1 through 5, right? Instead of posting 1 through 5, just post
just
the
do a trade paperback.
trade paperback that is 1 through 5, and they'll buy that.
But people like the single.
Well, but people will buy the trade paperback if it's there.
They're buying both.
They are?
Yeah, I have, everyone collects everything I got. I've had a couple people that would just, I'm shocked because they never read it before, but they'll go in there and they'll buy every single back issue, every single variant, every single thing that's back there. And I'm just like, I don't know who you are, but you could have my firstborn. So, like I had one guy it was like $300 worth of just back issues. And I was like, I hope you like it. I was like, but yeah. No, they keep buying it. Otherwise, I wouldn't keep printing it. But I'm not relettering or reprinting the variants though. So once they're done, I think I'm just gonna be done. But my regulars are getting reprinted. But yeah. So, but I'm redoing the script for 1 through 7 because I didn't know what the F I was doing, and neither did my letterer. And now that I know how much space is there, I'm actually like adding a lot more from the story that I could have added before but didn't know about it. So it's kind of cool to go back and they're like, there's all this space here. I can actually have like stuff. So.
I actually bought my first floppy besides Space Ghost. Well, I guess, yeah, if free comic book day, I bought the Space Ghost single issue, and then I bought the Marvel Blood Hunt today. Did you know that they're doing a red band thing for Marvel with that series? Where it's like blood and guts and gore and everything. And I'm like, are they aware that comics have been doing that forever and you're not special for releasing this kind of thing?
Oh no, they trust me. They think
about what about a signed beer
Well,
can? What's going on?
Yeah, they think they're special. That's the whole thing, right? Is like that's why a lot of people move to like indie comics is because we do things that Marvel and DC really don't do. They don't really do blood. They don't really do gore. They do it sort of innuendo style sometimes, like it'll be blacked out, like, oh, there's like some blood shooting out of a guy's mouth, but it's like all black instead of red or whatever. They don't really do the sexier stuff, all that kind of stuff. So every now and then Marvel kind of figures things out and they're like, oh yeah, because back in the 90s they started doing it too. They were like, oh yeah, we kind of have to get a little more violent or whatever for a while, but then that just kind of went away. And again, that just opens the doors to the indies to be able. That's one of the reasons why Kirkman did Invincible the way he did, because he was like, look, I'm going to make a superhero book, but it's not going to be like Spider-Man and whatever. It's going to be violent. It's going to be bloody. It's going to be gory. It's going to be over the top. It's going to be like what Marvel isn't. But again, if you go back into the 90s, it was, Spider-Man used to get the shit beat out of him. He'd be bleeding from his face and his mask would be torn and guess what? That's when shit sold, Marvel. Like what, how do you not figure this out? Like things were selling back then. Right. So the indies guys have figured it out. They're like, hey, we've got to kind of be, I don't want to say edgy, but like further towards the edge in a lot of this stuff to kind of be more than what Marvel or DC is doing. Otherwise, if we're just doing what Marvel and DC do, then what are we doing?
We're going to be very boring people.
That's right.
I am very boring.
So I will say though, yes, the Immortal Hulk series, the Al Ewing one with the body horror, that one is pretty cool. So that one was really good. But I like my violence. So when I saw for Marvel, I did end up picking that up, and I hope it's good. There's Tiger in it, and I like me some Tiger, but yeah, no. Indie Comics figured it out with their violence. So yeah, we figured out
Indie
violence.
Comics, we know violence.
We know violence. Gonna put that right on a shirt.
That's the new hashtag. We know violence.
Mine's pretty violent.
Is it?
Really?
I mean, I've read it. Yes, I know.
I mean,
I
wait
know
till
it
you
is.
see Chad's book where he's like ripping fish out of the lake. Like, goddamn, Chad.
It's
my
not
God.
violent. for the
He blows
sake
up a
of
fish.
violence.
I want to see like the horror in the fish's eyes as he comes out of the lake. Oh my God, I'm fucked.
It's not like that.
Actually, if you think about like, I'm not like an animal rights
Man.
person. If you think about the fact that we take the fish out and just let them suffocate to death, is kind of depressing.
So
This is a
first
whole
off,
issue, Chad, a whole issue of the fish just flopping in the bottom of the
Yeah.
boat. It's the
you-
most terrifying book of all time. It's just watching it flop and get slower and slower and slower until the last
or,
page.
you know,
and
you have
turn the
the
last
fish
page and it's just still.
dead.
Yeah.
Peter would have a field day with me.
Like,
That'd be awesome.
It's got to be like the flip book that you could just pull the little thing out.
Oh yeah, it's a little flip book.
Yeah. So,
Oh, and
Uh,
it has to. That's where you put the lenticular cover, so it's flopping as you move.
There you go.
Flop, 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 flop.
Hell yeah! Oh, see, we figured out a use for the lenticular.
That's
now.
right. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's good for fish covers.
great fish covers. Actually, fun thing about fish. Yesterday I went fishing and I suffocated like 6 fish,
Wow.
and then I took them home and gutted them and cleaned them and everything.
I
So-
wouldn't know how to clean a fish to save my life. So I
It's
hope I'm
very
never trapped in
easy.
the wilderness.
It's
Well,
very
I'll call
easy.
you then instead of calling
you have to do-
911 to get me out of there.
All you have to do is watch The Big Bang Theory. Penny will show you.
I used to
Oh.
fish. I used to fish, but I've never had to gut it. I used to go deep sea fishing.
Oh.
There's a great scene in The Big Bang Theory where the guys are going to go fishing with Penny's dad, and they're like, "What the fuck? What do we even do?" And she just brings a fish in, and there she's just like, "Put the knife in, put it down near, and you pull the guts out," and they're like basically
Yep.
passing out while she's just like, "Oh look, it had eggs." You know, that's really fun.
Yep.
It's really good.
Yep. And actually-
that never grossed me out. Never.
It's
I
funny.
would put the worm on there. I would do all of that stuff. So
Tifa caught 2 huge,
what happened?
they were about 14-inch bass, 14, 15. So she caught both of them, and I brought them back home, and I ripped out its guts, and the first thing I said was, "Oh my God, they both have eggs." So I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's what I said. But they're in my freezer now, and they're ready to eat. I descaled them. I'm not very good at filleting, so I just throw them in the oven and eat it off the bone. It's also way more fun.
I
that way.
defrosted salmon, so I worked just as hard as you.
Oh, okay. Is that what it is?
I defrosted
sh-
salmon.
I told her, I'm like, she keeps telling me, you need to put a worm on the hook. And I'm like, no, I can catch them with these little white grubs because I've done it before. She caught all the fish yesterday with worms. And I'm like, all hail the worm, I guess. Like,
I'm going to be honest with
damn
you. The worm did work the best, but they love Doritos. So if you ever get really caught, just throw a bunch of Doritos in the water. I don't know why that works, but it worked. So
they like, you can actually catch bass with marshmallow too. But anything you put on that floats on the water, you can get a bass with. And then like 3 huge carp were also there, and a pike I saw, and I couldn't get that thing's attention. If I had a gun, I might have been able to shoot it. But
what are
Turns
those
out you
people that used to throw in dynamite to catch them?
dynamite fishing, yep,
Yeah.
that's something I would love to do. It's
Okay,
so
I've seen a
stupid.
lot of Darwin awards with that, so you might want to be careful.
Listen, I don't care. I will win that Darwin Award for it.
I
I do. Do you know? Have you ever seen people noodling?
that sounds familiar.
Noodling is where they dive into the water, and they
You stick their hand
stick-
in the catfish.
and then they try to pull it out, which is very dangerous and very
I've
illegal.
seen that chick, that little girl or something, did one that was like the size for her. For Christ's sake.
Mhm. People have drowned because they can't get the catfish
What?
out of the water in time. Oh yeah, and they drown
I did not know that.
because it's like a catfish is like sticking your hand. Those giant catfish, it's like sticking your hand into a vacuum. And if you don't have the actual strength to pick it up and pull it out of the water, it's not gonna let go, and it's
Oh.
gonna hold you there.
Sucks to be
Uh,
them.
Yes, pun intended.
Oh,
And then there's those catfish that can swallow babies whole. I
I
mean,
didn't notice there's a whole other box next to me.
full of catfish and babies.
No fucking comics. I have to tape shut. I'm done. I won't do anymore.
You say that'd be very, very specific. Oh, Tom, I didn't get to. I know last week you talked about Planet of the Apes, but I'm so glad you also agreed that it's watchable. But when you actually think about that movie,
Everyone was so upset that they couldn't be here. They couldn't
See?
debate.
And Chad's on my side.
yeah, I am on his side with this because, like, at first I was like, "Oh, it started out really strong," and then as it went, I'm like, now that you think about it, oh wait, no, this doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, wait,
It
noodling
reminds me. You know what it reminds me? Do you ever watch The Family Guy? Well, first of all, do you ever watch Family Guy?
I have.
Okay. Did you see the Star Wars episodes?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. So there's the great scene where Luke is, training on the Falcon, and he's like, Han's like, you don't understand any of what you're doing, and and Luke goes, you don't believe in the Force, do you? And Han goes, oh, you mean that thing that you just learned about 3 minutes ago, and now you believe in all of it? It's like that was Planet of the Apes. Like,
yes.
He didn't know who or what Caesar was until he met the orangutan, and the orangutan was like, by the way, Caesar's awesome. And suddenly Noah was like, oh yeah, Caesar's awesome. This is great. I need to like follow Caesar. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah,
whatever.
Sure,
whatever.
And also too, when they were like, we can't get into that door, and then not even 10 minutes later, the lady girl was like, I know how to get into that door.
Yeah,
and it's just you could just, and none of these apes thought of this. None of them. Not one of them.
And that's the same problem that Godzilla X Kong had when they find all the apes underground in the Hollow Earth, who have apparently been there for 2,000 years digging for shit and haven't found what they were looking for. I'm like, dude, what are we doing? What are we doing? This is no good. This is no good.
And then they're like, no humans are able to talk. There's 2, like, that just show up immediately. Oh my God, talking humans. Yeah, yes, we know. Yeah. Thanks. Oh, wait, catfish noodling is legal across the South? I thought it was illegal.
Why would it be illegal?
Well, he says across the South, so it might be down there, but not in other places.
You're actually, isn't it? I thought it was bad to eat them because they're bottom.
Oh, they do not dive under to do so. Oh, okay. So there's a specific. Oh, all right.
I think
cool.
they go in the more shallow waters, and they just stick their hands.
See, that makes more sense.
Yeah. I was gonna say,
none of this makes sense. None of this.
They're Southern people. What are you gonna expect?
Yeah.
They're apes, which is fair. They were apes.
Come on, what are you doing? Stupid machine.
No, the Planet of the
Apes.
I
did see. This was another disappointment. Was there's a movie called Taro that came out?
Oh yeah.
And that was wildly disappointing. Tarot. So it was about tarot cards.
Tell me more on it, because
I have not heard of this movie.
Well, yeah, I don't think anybody has. But I was kind of interested because I was like, okay, I haven't seen a tarot movie before, so this could be kind of cool. But it was not. It was not. It was
not.
And it had that kid. I think I'd have to look this up to make sure, but I think it had the kid from Spider-Man. Like, what is he? Is he Flash?
Tom?
Like Peter's friend? No, not Tom Holland, but the friend, the heavy kid.
Wait. Oh, Nate.
Yeah. Nate. Okay, the Nate. Yeah. Oh yeah, Flash is the other guy. Yeah. So Nate.
Yeah.
I think it was Nate. But he had lost some weight, so I wasn't positive. But I think it was Nate. And I can't stand Nate in those movies. And so when I saw him, I was like, oh no, this is a problem. And yeah, he was a problem. He was a problem. He was annoying as fuck throughout that movie. So that was not good. But I mean, all of them were bad. And what was funny was I couldn't really figure out if the dialogue was bad or if they were all terrible at what they were saying.
Why can't it be both?
It could very well be both. But
it's one of those things where you just can't
in my
tell.
brain, as they were talking, my brain was like, is this bad or are they bad? Like, so it took me kind of right out of the movie. There's some cool stuff in it. Like there's some cool CG monsters and, things like that. But, it's a miss. It's a miss. It's a mess.
Oh.
Don't
You know-
don't worry about it. If you haven't heard of it, I'm sorry I told you, because now you're gonna go want to know what it is.
I only watch bad shark movies and bad animal movies, like Mama Seven or Sloth Killer or whatever the fuck.
I saw a trailer for Tarot, and I actually forgot about it until you posted it. I'm like, oh yeah,
I saw
that
the
movie.
trailer. Yeah, I saw the trailer for it when I watched First Omen. So I was like, oh, okay, that I'll
Sure.
probably see that. And I should have known that like any trailer played during First Omen is probably not going to be good too. That's just you're
say,
guilty
did you
by
watch that movie?
association.
Oh, his name is Ned, not
Ned,
Ned.
yeah, Ned.
Ned.
Yeah,
That
Ned,
was his
yeah.
name. Ned. It had an N and an N.
I'm pretty sure it's the same kid, and it was annoying both times.
That sounds horrible. I'm gonna
It
look.
was a shame. It was a shame. Because again, I think that there was a good concept, but I think
Sure.
they just had bad actors. I think they just didn't. It just didn't execute, which is a
Did
bummer.
it? Were they taking it too seriously? Like, because I feel like
Did they
that type
try
of
too
movie
hard?
could just be really silly.
Yeah, I don't
And
know.
yes,
I don't
it
know
is.
what the answer is.
And
It's
yes,
that
it
guy?
is the same guy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So anyway,
So I was right. And unfortunately, he lives too, which was I was kind of really happy when he died.
People that I want to die live, like in the
Yeah.
slaughterhouse. I'm not calling it whatever the hell it's called, but
I was like
The-
so happy when he died. I was like, oh fuck, at least something good happened in this movie. And then he fucking shows up at the end. I was like, no, no.
Spoiler
Yeah.
Lord.
So I don't know. Man.
Well, keep in mind the Garfield movie comes out
I thought it was already
this
out.
weekend. No, it comes out
This weekend?
Doesn't it?
All right.
I think it's this weekend. Yeah. Are you gonna go see it?
No.
Oh,
No.
I will.
That's
take
not
one
a
for the
movie for
team.
me. It's like if it is. That's not a movie for me. That's not. I didn't even see the Bill Murray Garfields. So if I didn't see those,
I didn't either.
am certainly not watching the Chris Pratt Garfield. No, I love the old cartoons. Like they're fantastic. The old like Halloween movies and stuff. Like those are so good. There is no chance the movies will live up to that. No chance. So I'm just not even gonna bother.
It's true. Ned does get accused of being the Hobgoblin. I think he was the Hobgoblin for a little bit too.
Well, in the comics, he was the
in the
Hobgoblin,
comics, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but
yeah, something else is coming out this week though. It's not just Garfield. Isn't there something else? Because I swear there was something I wanted to see before I went to the con. I don't remember what it was.
Let's see. Movies coming soon. There's that. Isn't there that Mad Max Fury?
Oh, is that this week? Yeah, I
Furiosa's
think
coming
that's
out.
it.
Yeah, that's this weekend. I do want to see that. So
I don't want to see it, but I will. I'm kind of curious about it.
I mean, I like Tom Hardy's Mad Max when that came out, so or Fury Road, so I'm definitely interested in this one.
Yeah, see, and I didn't like it. Like I didn't not
Really?
like it, but I didn't like it. Like it's one of those movies that I didn't understand the hype. Right? I'm like,
Sure.
okay, this is all right, but the hype was so high, so immense that I was like, where is this coming from? Because I don't see anything in this movie beyond the visuals, which were amazing. Right? Like,
yeah, yes.
It's over the top visuals. I'm with you 100%. It's mostly real, very little CGI stuff. So like, Jesus, that's amazing. But the story is like, let's go over here and then we're going to get there. And then
we're going to go over there.
We're going to go back and then we're going to kill a guy. And then we're going to open up the water ducts. Like that's your story.
Yeah, it was just cool to look at. Like that's why why it was hype. It was just cool.
I agree.
Yeah.
But like when you start to call a filmmaker like a mastermind and things like this, I'm like, doesn't that require like a storytelling element? Or are we just talking about a mastermind in the concept of world building? Because world building is great. Like even Mad Max, or not Mad Max, sorry, but Road Warrior, right? Very simple story, but he had all the world building stuff. Like Mad Max is the best of all of them from a storytelling standpoint. Road Warrior is like, let's go crazy and show post-apocalyptic stuff, right? And then, well, then we don't talk about the third one. That's terrible. And then we get Fury Road. It's like, again, we get world building and it looks crazy and cool, but like there's no story here. And so that's why I'm kind of curious if there's going to be, and prequels are always sketchy. You never know what you're going to get with a prequel.
Right.
So
Well,
we'll
they've
see. And this one looks like it is loaded with CGI, so that might throw it off too. I don't
Yeah.
know. We'll see. So I'm curious. I'm open to it, but
Hey,
I'm
wait,
not really
is the Crow
looking
going to
forward to it.
be in the theaters?
yeah,
Yeah,
the 30th
later this
anniversary
year.
is on the 29th.
Well, fuck
May
that. I'm
29th.
going to see that. I'd rather pay money to go see old movies than see anything new.
No. This is the new movie.
No,
new
this is the
movie comes
30th
out this year.
anniversary.
I don't want to see the new fucking movie. Is this the 30th anniversary or the new one?
The 30th anniversary is May 29th.
Yes,
Okay.
but The Crow is the new movie that's coming out,
Is
Yeah,
that
and
May
that's
29th?
and that comes out in like August.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to see that. I want to see this.
Yeah,
wanna
that's
see
that.
the-
They're
I
not
wanna see
playing
the-
it. Well, I mean, there might be small showings of it somewhere, but there's no big release for The Crow.
But it's in
It'd
the
be-
theater or it's not. Let's see.
No, it
Well,
is coming
again,
to the
they-
theater. It's
Yeah,
just,
they might be doing short runs, but it's not like a big wide release.
right. Yeah, it's just a celebration.
Yeah,
There's a movie
yeah.
called The Hangman coming out on the 30th. Give us the devil. Give
think
the
I've
devil his due. Oh God, this sounds just reading that part just sounds terrible. Such a bland title or bland statement.
Yeah, I think I've heard of that somewhere. Yeah,
Yeah, like every fucking where. There's nobody's in it.
Nobody's in it. That's usually good. Like, because you don't. If it's going to be bad, it better be just like nobody's in it. Because if there's good people in it and it's bad, then it's depressing.
Right. Yeah.
At least if
And
there's
that-
nobody in it, you can just sort of laugh it off. Like, these are terrible actors. What did they do?
Yeah. Right, exactly. And then they can look back at it and just kind of make fun of it.
Yeah.
Like how Robert Pattinson and with Twilight, he
In
just rips on him all the
Twilight.
time. So, but there's that one movie Sight that looks pretty good. About that Chinese doctor or a doctor who's like performed surgery on a girl for her to see. And it's based on a true story, and I thought it looked kind of cool.
I don't know that one.
I saw it when I saw Planet of the Apes, and I kind of wish I would have saw Sight instead of Planet of the Apes, but they weren't out. And then there's a new movie called Solo that's a drag queen movie. Montreal's drag scene.
There's tons of small movies that come out, but
Oh yeah.
I don't
Oh, yeah.
like. There was one that came out earlier in the year, really short run, called Sting, about some like alien spider thing that like falls to Earth. But I kind of want to see that. I just haven't had a chance to see it, so I want to see that
The
one.
Crow is playing by me. Thank you for Brian for telling me. So 7 p.m.
Sting.
Okay, that's not bad.
It's about
Yeah.
monster spiders.
Yeah. Well, a spider. It's like a spider egg falls to Earth, and then there's like this chick who's into comic books, and her dad's like trying to connect with her and stuff. So it's like kind of a weird horror family thing. I don't know.
What? Isn't this on Shudder?
Maybe
Let me see.
it had a
'cause
real short release, like in theaters, like a real quickie thing, kind of like what they did with Interview with the Devil or whatever it was called.
Oh
Late
yeah,
Night
you
with the
saw that
Devil.
too, did you see that one?
Yeah, I did. I did finally get to see that. And
Did you like it?
It was okay. It was
Yeah.
all right.
I mean, I like the guy, whatever Dalmatian his name.
Yeah.
I like that guy. So, because I mean, he's Polka Dot Man.
Yeah. It was
And-
okay. I mean, like, again, it got a lot of hype, and I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, there was a lot of nostalgia, heavy nostalgia, because it was like it's a
Yeah.
70s thing. So it was just loaded with nostalgia, kind of vibes to it. But
Sure.
I thought it was kind of cool until the end, when the end just went over the top, it was kind of weird and creepy as she was getting possessed and stuff. I'm like, all right, it's fine. And then her head explodes into blue light, and I'm like, what?
She's summoning the alien.
Yeah, I don't know. So it
Okay,
lost
well,
me at
that's
the
easy
end,
to
but it's
go.
okay. It was all right. It was all right.
I do. Do you have Shudder?
No, mm-mm.
Oh.
No, I don't pay for that stuff generally.
Oh, okay.
There's usually just nothing that I want to see. It's like when I got Hulu for the first time. I got Hulu because I wanted to watch Prey
You have 2B. What else is there to watch?
and the new Hellraiser. So I got Hulu just to try it out. And I was like, okay, so I watched those 2 movies. Then I'm like flipping through and I'm like, there's nothing on this. What am I
Yeah.
paying $10 a month for? There's nothing here.
I hate when you have to
Um,
pay to look. Like Thrive Market, you have to pay to look. Like
I didn't know you. What I don't know what Thrive Market is.
Thrive Market, because I can't have gluten, so I have to go to these stupid markets to find something edible, and you can't even look at the items until you pay to go in and look. So I had to ask for a refund because they had really shitty stuff. So to be or not to be.
Tubi is great. I hate Hulu now because it's just ads every time, and they're like
Well, I
30
paid to
minute
not have
ads.
ads, so
Can't. I'm not gonna pay. I know I'm gonna bitch about it, but I'm not gonna pay to not have ads.
yeah, Amazon
I-
started doing ads, but I almost
Yes.
don't know. It's not everywhere. It's not as bad as it's not as bad as Hulu. Like Amazon is kind of selective where it kind of
Yeah.
happens. And so I'm kind of like, all right, I can cope with whatever's happening here. This is all right. I can live with it, especially since I've been watching Tubi and there's ads on that stuff. So I'm
Yeah.
like,
Well-
I've kind of gotten used to seeing ads again, which is
Sure.
I want to shoot myself for that, but you know, I've gotten used to it again.
The only time I get mad is when, and True TV was the worst because I loved Fear Thy Neighbor, so I was always watching that shit. It would be like the same commercial 4 times
Yeah.
each time.
Yep.
Like it was always this truck commercial, like 4 times in a row. I'm like, I got
Yep.
it. You're on a truck.
Yep.
Congratulations.
I watched when I was watching YouTube videos because I watch gamer videos, Tom. But they
Nerd.
I know I'm such a fucking nerd. But the Mint Mobile commercial with Ryan Reynolds kept showing up, and I wanted to jump off of a building.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like it's the same commercials, and none of them, like some of them aren't even, none of them are entertaining either.
No, they're not
Mhm.
entertaining.
Like
You know
they're
what? If
just
they want to keep me watching stuff, why don't they make them look like the 80s commercials? Like I saw
Yeah,
an 80s commercials that I don't remember seeing it when I was a kid. I'm sure I did, but it was a
Or like-
it was really good. It was a guy that went upstairs to look for his girlfriend, and her sister was there naked, and she tried to seduce him, but he ran out of the house and ran to the car, and the girlfriend's in the car. She goes, "You passed the test." And you could see that his hand was getting condoms from the glove box, and then he
oh
shut the
yeah,
glove box, and he's just like, "Yeah, test." So those are the
Yeah,
commercials that I
really.
want to see.
No, I want to see more of the ones that are like, "This is your brain on drugs,"
Oh, I love
and
those.
they're like cracking an egg, and it's just like, "This
Yeah.
is your brain on
That was
drugs."
yeah, a Robin.
It's just really creepy.
I remember those.
Oh, you need to do a cover for that, dude. You need to put a frying pan with a fish in it and have
Yeah.
a tagline on it that says, "This is your fish on garlic," or shit like that. You know what I mean?
With
Like a
garlic.
cooking
Oh,
cover.
I
That's a
should do
good
that
one.
for the sec. I have my cup variants now, but I should do that for the second issue. Absolutely. You're giving me all
Yeah.
kinds of ideas. I like that. What was that weird
Learn it from
cartoon?
watching you.
What?
The pot one when I was a kid. Where'd you learn to do drugs? I learned it from watching you.
That's another
And it's
great
like
one.
a
You could have like a
weird
father and
one.
a son like together. Like, where did you learn how to fish? I learned it from you.
Yeah. I think
The
you-
drug.
every 80s
The PSA
commercial, you
fishing
can put it cover.
Yeah,
cover.
dude, just hysterical, dude. Apparently, fishing is endless source of like meta jokes. Like, I'm enjoying this a lot.
I love meta jokes with fishing.
What are some other?
And you could
Let's
just
go
like the fish in the pan. You could just be like, "This is your fish on garlic. This is your fish on chives. This is your fish on butter."
just switch.
just like you know,
I
a
kind of
thousand
like
of
the
them.
way did you learn to fish? I learned it by watching you.
Watching you. Have you talked to your kid
Oh, and the
about fishing?
Energizer Bunny
That's
one.
good. That's good. That's
Yeah.
so good, dude.
Just
Have you talked to your child about fishing?
fishing. It's time.
And
You should call.
Dude,
I
you
like
are.
that.
I'm telling you, man, you got to go hard on this. You
I
have to go
will for
hard
issue
on
2. I'll
this.
go hard.
I
I
like
will.
where it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your fish are?
Oh, yeah. Do you know where your Do you know where your kids are?
But you got to
They
do it
could
in the
be
morning.
fishing.
Like it's morning time because you go fishing in the morning, right? It's like
Yeah.
it's like
10
6
a.m.
a.m.
Do you know where
Do
your
you know
fish
where
are?
your fishing pole is? That kind of
Yeah.
Yeah. Fishing is great. I love fishing. Tom, do you fish or?
I used to fish here just kind of off the dock, and I've
Aw.
gone
We'll go fishing, yeah.
I've gone deep sea fishing, but I get seasick, so it's
Oh.
hard for me to be out there. But I like the water and I like boats, but I can't just sit and bounce around
Yeah,
in the fucking
and-
water. Like I want to drive a boat and just go over the waves and stuff.
Yeah.
On the docks
And then
or
I
whatever
went
it is.
I went fly fishing once.
I am horrible. I'd kill somebody the way I fly
It was
fish.
my
It's
first time fly
crazy.
fishing, so I'd never done it before. We were in Idaho,
I've never done it.
and we
Oh,
weren't
God,
waiting
huh?
because the water was too cold. We were in like a little boat that just kind of we went down the river, and we were with this guy who was like, "Yeah, you guys are not." It was too early in the season, or whatever. He was like, "You're not going to catch anything, guys. Don't worry about it, but just have fun." And there's like fucking bald eagles flying around. I'm like, "Where am I? This is like Land of the Lost." So he's like, "Yep, you're not gonna catch anything, but I'll show you where to cast and whatever." I pulled out 5 motherfucking trout out of that river, and the guy was like, "I don't know how you did that," and they didn't get anything. The other boat got nothing. I pulled 5, and he was like, "You shouldn't have gotten anything." I'm like, "Well, I'm
Well,
good."
maybe the fish didn't know that it was out of season,
Yeah,
right.
the
That's right.
fish were like,
or maybe that's why the fish came out like, "Oh, it's season's over, man. Let's go." And then Tom's there.
It was
like
like
a
an
murderer.
hour. It was like maybe an hour and a half. We were out at my aunt's lake house, and we were fishing on the dock, and Tiff's standing there, and she's like, "Honey, there's a bass right in front of me."
What
And
you
I'm
want
like-
me to do?
So you
throw
went
some-
noodling? You just put
I went
dynamite
noodling.
in
Yeah.
there?
Yes. I threw some dynamite at it, and then I went noodling for it. And then I was like, "Okay, well now you just gotta catch it." And then maybe
Yeah.
about 20
Just
minutes
catch it.
went by. 20 minutes went by, and she's like, "Honey, get the net." I'm like, "Bullshit." And she pulls out that
I could see that.
fucking bass. And then not even a half hour later, she pulls out another one. And I'm
Nice.
like, same spot too.
Did you
and
ever
I'm like, I
watch
bet
The
they were like-
Simpsons, Chad?
Yeah, I have. Yes, I'm
Did you ever see
attracted to fish. I
Troy
think
when
they're
he had
sexy.
his love affair at the fish?
Mm-mm.
He was banned from like the aquariums, and he would never say why. And then he lived underwater with the fish in the aquarium. Like he had like
Oh.
you gotta look it up. He had like a fetish with fish. He had to have fish surrounded by him, but they would never talk about it. It was like not supposed to talk
Gross.
about it. I forgot what everything he said. Fly fishing. Fly fishing's too dangerous. I will kill somebody. I will go deep sea
I've never
fishing. I
been.
will go any other fishing.
It was cool. I didn't know. I kind of figured I'd flub it, but I got into it pretty good. Pretty good. And
No
it was
sharks?
funny because he kept telling me like, you got to go slower, you got to move the thing, I'm just like, dude,
I think
am
you
I
made this
catching
guy
fish or
jealous.
am I not catching fish? Like, you
Right.
don't need to tell me. I have 5 hanging off the
Do you
boat.
even know this guy?
No,
Like,
he
is
was
this
just like
somebody with you?
he was a guide. He was like a fishing guide, taking
Well,
us down the river.
He sucks. He doesn't know what he's talking
Sounds
about.
like he sucks. Like he's like,
Yeah.
I used to have a bow
I
with a
was like,
fishing rig
do
on
you
it.
know who I am, sir? Like, do you know who
Do
I am?
you?
I am Big
I am-
Dog Inc., bitch.
I am Big Dog Inc. and I don't know what I'm
I
doing.
watch
But do
more
you know
shark
who I
movies
am?
than anybody else.
I know how this works.
I don't need.
I've
I don't
seen
need your help.
Sharknado. Have
I
you
don't
seen
need your help.
Sharknado?
I'm gonna write Troutnado next.
It's just. It's
We're just gonna have
the-
it's just gonna be a big windstorm, and people are gonna walk outside, and it's gonna get slapped in the face with a trout. Ah, shit, it's a trout.
Everybody stay indoors, and
Yeah.
you just see fish like hitting the windows.
I like it.
See
That'd
how
be
easy it is to write fish stories? It's easy.
It really is.
It's
I
easy.
would. How's your shark book going?
It's not right now because I have other things that are on my plate, but it's coming up. I'm coming back around to it, so
Cool.
we'll be moving back in. But I had to get through a whole bunch of other stuff before, so that I got ahead for everybody. And then once I can get ahead of all of those guys, I can dive into the shark book. So
Hell
we'll be
yeah.
back on it pretty soon. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
But I watched Jaws the other day again, just to kind of put myself in the mode.
Oh,
I
okay.
discovered that from door to door, from my door to driving into the parking lot at Motor City is the time of Jaws. Like I started it when I left, and as soon as I got in the driveway, it was credits. So I was like, oh, it's Jaws. I can just watch Jaws, and I know how much time I have until I'm home.
I'm gonna do that now. I'm gonna be watching Jaws and I'd be like, how long is it gonna take
Yeah.
Tom to get home? Weird. I'm actually I'm gonna try to go salmon fishing this year too. I want to go up to Crystal Lake and do the salmon run. So, and I
You just sit there and wait till they die and then you grab them.
well, that's horrible, but
That's
I guess I could. I could also just get a trot line. Okay, well,
used
a
to-
trot line.
We used
Oh,
to
go
just like throw out catfish lines at night here at the lake.
That's trot line. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
catch a few in the evening, but
Yep.
we'd always just like fish for like bluegills and stuff off the dock.
Yep. Bluegills, we caught 6 of those yesterday. 6 pretty good sized bluegill. Because those things can get big. I know people are like, they're so tiny. I'm like, no, they can get a pretty good size.
We had
Um,
one dumbest fish ever. So we were out on a paddle boat on the lake and fishing. And we caught a fish. Fish swallowed the hook basically, and we were
Mhm.
like, "Oh fuck, dude!" You know. So we're trying to like get it out, and I'm like, I mean, we're just gonna like kill him if we pull this
Sure.
thing out. So we cut the line, and you know he's kind of got it stuck. It's kind of through his face and stuff. He's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I can't help you, dude, but I'm gonna let you go.
I hate when it gets
So
stuck.
we let him go, and we rig up a new hook and throw the thing back out, and within a minute it's like hit. Oh shit, bring it in. It's that fucking fish.
It's that
He's got
same
the hook in
fish.
his face, and we just pulled him up again. I'm like, dude,
You
what are you
fucking
doing?
idiot. Yep.
He's committing suicide,
Yep.
clearly.
No, my aunt, there are catfish in there, so I do want to set up for them. I've only caught one before, and he was a pretty good size, but I didn't want to take it because those things are a pain in the butt. But they are very tasty. Fresh catfish is good. No, I don't really like when like frozen catfish or anything like that. It has to be
I
fresh.
forgot to tell you. So I'm asking my plushie
Fish are
plate
stupid.
to do a Serafina doll, and I was like, she needs to have boobs, you know, because they did the cat, the Anubis, and she didn't have boobs. It was just kind of flat, and I was like, that's okay for the cat, but she's gonna, you know, need it. So she just sent me a picture of a doll with big boobs, and I was like, yeah, that'll do. Like, I was not expecting that picture when I was clicking on. You know,
Big
I'm like,
boobs.
who is sending me doll boobs? Like,
I am gonna do a sexy fish cover though.
duh.
Because I just have to, and it's gonna be like
a mermaid or like an actual fish?
no, it's gonna be a fish. Like
Okay,
it's gonna
good.
have a fish head and then adult like human legs, and it's gonna have
It's
be
a
in like
reverse
fishnet
mermaid.
stockings. Yeah, it's a reverse mermaid. And
Nice.
it's gonna have huge boobs, and it's gonna confuse the hell out of people. And I kind of want to get Steph Wilson to do it because I feel like he would be perfect.
I don't know
So
who that is.
Steph Wilson,
Do I know who that is?
he does the balloon animal boob comics.
I don't know what that is.
Okay, well, anyway, I like Steph Wilson. He's great. You have,
Now
I
you, like,
know.
say it like I'm insulting someone. I'm like,
I think you need to focus on meme covers. I think that is going to be your bread and butter.
You think so?
I think you are off the charts with those because no one's doing that shit, and
That is true.
it's clearly so funny. You know, if particularly for a certain age group, if you do that type
Yeah.
of those things that we talked about, like it's going to land so hard. And then of course the glow in the dark fish bones, you know,
Yeah.
that's
Have you
going
talked
to work.
to your children
That's
about
Tom's
gonna
gonna like go in as a partner with you. He's so excited.
Listen,
I mean,
fish
and
books
you
are
know,
fun.
you need to have a shark that's like, you know, like the pimp for this shark, for this fish, and just have like this mean shark and dedicate it to Tom. Maybe give him cat ears or something. I don't know.
Sure. I mean, I have a goblin shark in there.
Yeah,
And a
but what?
vampire squid. I have a goblin shark
I
and a
like
vampire squid.
Yeah.
So I have all
You
kinds
guys-
of, and I have a stripper jellyfish too.
Have
I
you guys
know that
ever
one.
seen the Dracula parrot?
No,
No,
I've only
what?
seen Bunnicula.
Yeah, it's
The
a
bunny
it's a
one.
parrot species that is
Oh, like a real bird?
it's a real bird. Yeah, it's a
Oh.
Dracula parrot. Yeah, and it is black and red, and it is
Okay, now
awesome
hold on.
looking and crazy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hold on, we gotta look this up. Dracula.
They're
Bird.
endangered.
I wonder why. Oh
Why
shit,
is
that
it-
was awesome.
Yeah, that looks
It looks
sweet.
like a crow that like mated with a parrot,
Yeah.
and then like and then they had a threesome with the cardinal. So,
Oh, they had a bird orgy.
well, look at it. That's what it looks like.
I mean, I am, and it does,
Cool
but now
shark.
I can't. I don't want to think about birds having sex, but now I am, and I hate you for that.
Just think about that one drinking blood. It comes down, swoops down, pecks at your neck.
That'd be cool. Why hasn't anybody done a movie about that? That sounds awesome. Instead, we got
Well-
fucking Morbius.
Yeah,
Pat
we got
Henry.
Sharkula instead of Shark Parrot
We
or
did-
Dracula Parrot. Like, give me Dracula Parrot instead of
I'm still
Sharkula.
waiting for my Banicula movie. I've been that book has been around since I was like 5. So
You would think. Oh, speaking of books, I was at Second and Charlie's, which is a big like secondhand store for like
makes sense
everything.
with the name.
Yes. And they had the Watership Down graphic novel. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
I
Who
didn't
made
know
that?
that was a graphic novel.
I'm not. I think
I
it was.
have the novel right there, but I want a graphic novel. Is it good art? Is it crappy art?
It's okay.
You know how
Watership
to
Down
make somebody
graphic
happy and
novel.
depressed all in one sentence. They had a Watership Down graphic novel. It wasn't the best. Well,
The art was okay. I mean, it wasn't.
I
Like-
want the old art. That's the best.
It wasn't anything like, oh, this
Oh,
is
yeah.
amazing.
It's kind of like it looks kind of like the movie, but like if you got it from Wish.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
bad. It's not bad. It's just kind of simple.
Yeah.
But like I'm looking at some pages and I'm like, yeah, it's like it's painted. It's like a watercolor type
Mhm.
of thing. Yeah, that looks kind of cool. Actually, it looks like it came out last year. This says
Oh, did it?
2023. Yeah, this says
Oh.
2023.
That explains why we didn't know about it.
Yeah, so it's a new
Huh.
thing, and apparently it is. Apparently it's a UK import. I don't know if there was a release here. Also interesting.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, no,
I
this
felt-
this is cool. I'm curious to get this now.
Yeah.
Well,
they
it
had
was a UK author, so that makes sense, I guess.
Yes,
Right?
that's true.
Originally, it was UK.
Yes.
I still don't
Mhm.
understand why Animal Farm got a graphic novel. That still is really weird to me.
don't
George
know.
Orwell.
Yep.
Yeah, I found it at Barnes and Nobles, and I was very confused. I also got Fahrenheit 451, the graphic novel, which is kind of ironic now that I think about it.
What went straight
Well,
to Netflix?
it's ironic that it was a book to begin with.
That is true. It was. I think it was straight. Well, yeah, the live action movie or whatever was straight to was the Watership Down.
Straight to
The
hell.
original one was on TV, I think.
The original 1978. Yeah,
Yeah, because I believe
It
that
must have-
aired
I
at
mean,
some point.
I was young when I saw it, but I mean I wasn't even I was born when the day it came out. So
I wasn't. I wasn't even alive.
well, I'm older than you. That's why.
That is true. You are. You both are older than me. I'm the
Yeah.
baby in every group. It's weird.
I'm usually the oldest in every group.
That's also weird.
Even the soundtrack is hard to find for that. Like, there's a CD right now that's always like $25 plus shipping. I'm like, I kind
For
of
For Watership Down?
want that. Yeah, for Watership Down. You can find the vinyl. It's
Wow.
on a record very easily, but I don't want the record because I can't play the record. So
The
I'm-
one on
getting the CD.
Netflix is a remake, Brian. It's not the original.
Yeah, the
mean,
Netflix
I-
one is terrible. Just say it's
Yeah.
terrible.
I couldn't
Terrible.
even get through it.
Terrible.
Though I will say the worst movie I've ever seen to date right now is a disaster movie because the guy was going to be at the con that I'm going to. So I'm like, oh, let me see how bad this movie is because if it's good, then I want an autograph. I love those crappy movies that are like they have Easter egg, like what, Spaceballs, but done right. How Spaceballs is done right. But anyway, it was the worst
Spaceballs
movie.
is a good movie.
Spaceballs is a parody, and what's the other really good parody? Anyway, it is not a good movie. we couldn't get
I like
we couldn't even get into 20 minutes into it, but we tried. The thing that made it worse was every time there was like, you know how there are Easter eggs in the movie and you try to figure out which movie this is from, they would literally just tell you, oh, it's Amy Winehouse. And I'm like, oh,
Are you
it's
talking about
Hannah
disaster
Montana.
movie?
I watched Disaster Movie.
Oh, okay. I thought we were
Right.
talking about Spaceballs because that was a good one.
No, I'm saying that's a good parody movie, whereas Disaster was like the complete opposite.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
It was such
that
a
makes
bad.
sense.
Well, usually I don't mind, but it was just the worst movie. Even my husband, who likes, I mean, he's got the worst tastes, and I mean, look who he married. But I mean, when it comes to movies, he's like the worst taste.
So
but-
you said you saw those movies. You liked Mad Monster Party. What did you think of Quick and the Dead?
I liked it. I mean, I knew exactly who was going to die, and I knew exactly what was going on at the end. But it's not like a mystery novel. So I really liked it. I liked I knew everybody in it. So
Yeah.
I could not believe that was Leonardo DiCaprio. He looked like 12.
Yep.
So yeah, I liked it. My husband liked it too. He didn't fall asleep until like halfway through, and so that's saying something. But he's the girl in the relationship. The one that falls asleep when you put a movie on, whereas I'm like, wake up, damn it. Such a pain in my eye. I can't get him to watch anything unless it's
Oh yeah,
something-
Kung Pao Enter the Fist. That's a good one.
What
That's
is?
a great parody. Kung Pao.
Oh yeah.
That one.
There
Was a great
was another one I was thinking of. Spaceballs is like the best parody, but this isn't that parody is Star Wars. What is the one that there was another one I was thinking where I'm like, this is a really good. That's a good parody that no one ever. I can't think of what it is, but
Is it an older one?
yeah, it's older. I'm trying to think of. Oh, Austin Powers, where it's like a parody of James Bond, but it's actually a movie. This was not a movie. This was how many stupid things they can fit in there and tell you what it is when they're doing it. So I was not a fan.
I mean, you are watching the Wayne's. Is that who did those?
Is
Because
it?
they're the ones who did the scary movie, right?
The Wayans brothers did the first couple of scary movies. Yeah.
I like Scary Movie. I think they're okay. Some of them are okay, but this was the worst thing I had ever seen. I can usually tolerate anything, but I could not. When they got to the part with Hannah Montana underneath a meteorite, I could not stand her voice. Nothing she said was funny, and it kept going. Like every time you thought, okay, they're gonna go on to the next scene. Nope. I was like, so I'm done. He's like, so do you want his autograph? I was like, no. I'm like, no wonder they don't mention this in his bio. Why would anyone mention this movie? They probably want you to forget. But I think it was like the parody was supposed to be like, you know how there's usually one huge parody, and then so I think that it was Cloverfield was the main parody, but then they threw in every 5 seconds some other stupid parody that was just like BC was first, High School Musical, Old Country. What is it? No Country for Old Men. Juno. Like it's just the worst freaking things ever. Like.
I like the first Scary Movie.
What I think is Shannon. Yeah, she was awesome in that movie. Yeah, I know. We love Austin Powers too. Though I got to say the big fat guy he plays grosses me the fuck out. So get in my belly.
Did you know that there's a Austin Powers card game like Magic?
What?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, 100%. Oh, trust me, I know because I am a champion at it. Trust
what?
me, I know. Yeah.
You never cease to amaze me there, Tom.
You're an Austin Powers collectible.
I wear the daddy pants. That is correct.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah.
I love High School Musical. I'm sorry.
It's really fun. It's a quick game. So if you guys were to buy it, you can get it on eBay. If you were to buy it, it's a quick game. It's an easy game. It's fun. And we
I'm
play
gonna start a new religion.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring this game back and start playing it at places. Yeah, it's fun. It's like there's also a Young Jedi for Star Wars. That's very, very fun. I happen to be good at that as well. I'm always good at the weird shit that a lot of people didn't play because they were too busy playing Magic. And I'm like, this is like so cool to play this stuff. So
Yeah, I just started getting into that Disney's Lorcana card game, and it's really cool. I like the artwork of it, but I'm a sucker for Disney, and I can't play Magic. I've tried, and I think it's so boring.
I didn't try because I don't like to learn rules. So
Oh well, I mean that's a huge.
Yeah,
The
well, I
fact
never
that you're
bothered.
alive still is amazing. So,
I,
I don't
Yeah,
follow rules.
that's pretty. I didn't say I didn't follow them. I said I don't like to learn them. So,
Well-
yeah, no, I never.
yeah,
played
I'm
Magic.
also Chad. I'm sure you'll appreciate this. You like Pokemon?
I do.
Okay, I am a Pokemon
This
champion.
looks like
as well.
someone that would like Pokemon. I don't know.
You're a Pokemon
I am.
champion.
I
Really?
have a Pokemon tournament trophy. my
Oh,
friend. Oh yeah.
from what year?
That's right.
Oh
Bianca.
Jesus, this would have been like 90. When did it come out? Like 97, 98, something like that.
Tom just got
Yeah,
so much
So it would have
Texas.
been in that time, like 90, early within the first couple of sets, like 2 or 3 sets of release.
Sure.
Now let me tell you the stupid story that goes with it, because it's a stupid story. So we were at a con, and I had a table. We were, selling shit. And the woman comes by who's running the tournament. She's like, so we're gonna do a Pokemon tournament, and we want to know if you wanted to give anything for prizes. And I was like, oh yeah, we can do that. Like, what is it for kids? Like, is there different age brackets or whatever? She's like, no, it's just anybody can join. It's just open, and if you want to give a prize, you can give a prize. And I was like, okay, cool. And so I look over, and there's a whole bunch of kids getting ready to play, and they're all like, 10, 11, 12, maybe some teenagers. And there's like an old lady in there, like old, like 30s, 40s, something like that. And I'm like, who's that? Is she that she's not playing? Is she? And she looks over, she says, well, yeah, it's
old.
compared to teenagers and 10-year-olds playing Pokemon. Yes. And so I'm looking at her, and she is like, is she playing? She's like, well, yeah, I mean, it's open to anybody. There's no age brackets. And I was like, you can't let her play against these kids. That she's just gonna destroy them. And she says, well, I mean, we can't not do it. And I was like, all right, put me in the tournament. And I assumed that they would put us together at the beginning, right? To put the two people that clearly know what the fuck they're doing, put them together. And that way, if I won, I could just drop out and let the kids play. That was my goal. Knock her out. And then I don't care. Let them play.
She beat you?
No, they put us at opposite ends of the bracket. So the only way that we could play is to get to the end. So
wow.
She and I proceeded to demolish these kids.
Oh no.
To the end. Yeah. Okay. And what was funny though was that the kids were so enthralled with us and the way that we knew how to play that they were like excited watching it happen, right? So when we got to the end, I'm thinking there's not even going to be anybody to watch. No, all the kids stayed to watch us play. It was like, it was like this huge thing. It was like, crazy.
Fight.
Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, I can't even believe this happened. So we come in, and so it's best out of 3. You have to play best out of 3. So I beat her the first time, and I'm like, all right, good. I feel like I know how she plays. I can do it. And she then ends up beating me the next time, and I'm like, fuck, I cannot let this woman win. I cannot let her go home with this. And so we go through one more round, and it was really difficult, but I ended up winning, and she melted down. I mean, she was just like, I can't fucking believe this. I got into this tournament because I thought I could win. And I'm like, well,
I'm not gonna lie. I wish I was there.
News.
It was pretty good. So yes, I have a trophy. It was for everyone's information. It was a Moltres deck. Dun, dun, dun.
What was the prize though that she was so determined to win?
She wanted the trophy. She just wanted to win. She wanted to have a trophy that said that she was, she won the tournament. That was it. She just wanted the trophy. I mean, I think there was some other prizes, like there were some card packs and stuff that people had thrown in, whatever. But she wanted the trophy, because it said
Pokemon
Pokemon
is her life
champion. or
dream.
whatever.
You know, she's
Yeah.
been training her whole life for this.
Yeah.
For
she
a bunch
lost.
of 10-year-olds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And she
I
just
used-
melted down. So at least at minimum, I can say I didn't just demolish the kids for nothing.
Right.
You know, in truth, I saved the children from the mean old wicked witch, is what
By
happened.
dominating them.
Yeah.
By destroying them, I saved
right.
them.
That's right. That's right.
Wow. Sounds awful. But
I feel like
Oh
there's
my
a good
God.
moral there.
I used to play at Borders when they used to have the Pokemon tournaments, and you
Mhm.
could get the stamps to get the badges.
Mhm.
And I had all 8 badges, but I was absolutely terrible at the game. Like it's gotten even more complicated.
Oh, sure.
Like,
Oh, absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah. It's way beyond what I understand
Yeah.
Pokemon. And I actually
Like-
found my deck the other day because I was going through some boxes and I was like, oh my God, here's my deck. And I'm looking through it and I'm like, oh, I couldn't even play this now because I have like all kinds of weird Japanese and German cards in there and shit.
I
I'm like, I
had
don't even know what these
cards-
do.
I have Pokemon cards from the 90s in a binder somewhere that I've never touched since the 90s, and I have no idea where they are, but they're here somewhere.
Well, you should
Yeah.
look because if you have the right ones, a lot of that's worth some money.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that means I remember seeing it. I remember looking through it, and I had looked up something up and said, "Oh, it's not worth that much." Not thinking about it, and I put it back where it was. But I think I just looked up a normal card, and I didn't look up like the year or whatever. So, but yeah, they probably are worth money because they're all mint. I never touched anything.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Could be. Could be. It's worth a look.
My brother tried to get me into Magic again, and I asked him, I'm like, okay, yeah. So how do you play now? And he ran through me the rules, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go drink and kill my brain cells. Okay.
Yeah,
I don't wanna play.
Magic 2 has really evolved itself into a
Yeah.
nightmare.
And Yu-Gi-Oh! I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh! A lot too, and it's barely recognizable now. Like all my decks that I had are just they're totally useless. So what time is it?
I have no idea. Oh, 9:30.
9:30?
We should probably end
9:30?
this.
Oh yeah, that might be a good idea because I actually got a shit to do in a little bit.
Shit to do.
I'm doing what I'm
do.
supposed to do, so
I have other shit to do. As much as I love hanging with you guys.
nope, that's
Extra
fine. Why
short.
don't you tell them how to find your pre-launch and stuff?
Oh,
You
yeah,
don't
actually-
have the damn pre-launch.
Here, you know what? I have the pre-launch. What more do you want
Oh
from me?
my God. He's prepared.
I'm
It
prepared.
only took like a year,
You know what?
and now I don't have my pre-launch.
Yeah, now you don't have it. Now it's my turn. All right, hang on. Let me grab it. I should probably I don't know, scroll this away or something. Here,
And,
give this.
Tom doesn't like to say where he's from, so he's Big Dog Inc. and he is launching June 6th.
Yes.
So
Yes. We'll probably
Here,
have the
can you put-
launch page next week. We'll be
There you go.
ready to go.
Krista, can you put this in the comments? Because I can't.
oh
They won't let me.
oh yeah, private. Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's right there. You can click it. You can
I
follow.
think it'll only let me do it. I think it only goes to YouTube, but
No, it'll go. Well,
See-
there's that, and then I'll post it on. You know what? I'll just post it on the Facebook.
post it on the Facebook
I'll do the thing.
or search. Tell them what to search for. That's what I do. I just say search Worthy Chaos. So
Just search for. I don't fucking know. Look
Your
for
title.
Set the Hook
Look at
issue
the
number
title.
1. Set the Hook issue number 1. There.
Yeah, just you can search for Set the Hook and it'll find it.
There you
Yeah.
go.
There you go. You
I
can
don't
send
think
that for it.
say issue 1
Spotify.
because you only have one. So
You know what? I'm reading the title that's in front of me. Anyway, you can find that, and that'll be
I'm
releasing.
sorry you don't know your own title. You only have 2 comic issues. I don't know how hard it is for you.
You know, leave me alone.
I don't know.
Anyway,
Anyway, yeah, for anyone that had backed mine, thank you. And everything will be shipped out by tomorrow except for Glow in the Dark. And we'll be back next Monday at 8 p.m. because we still don't have Big Shark. So we're stuck coming in for at least one more week.
Next week
well-
I'll bring my Pokemon trophy.
okay, we can show that off and make all the children jealous.
That's right.
Anyway, thanks for everyone that showed up. It was nice to have all these people in our chatting. It's always nice. And thank you for Bianca for being on my YouTube, because you're probably the only one ever in there. So, so bye.
All right,
Bye-bye.
bye.
Bye.